I'm overwhelmed. These past 2 days, I've just felt like tightness here in my. So before I take a shower, this is an update on school. I am back in school to become a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, and this is a part of my back to school series. So make sure if you haven't checked out the other videos, because there might be questions that you have. I'm pretty sure they're answered. And if they're not, let me know in the comments below. But just check out, I'll have it either in the description or the little card thing. And I am in my closet, so there are clothes, hang drying clothes. If you know, you know. And I am tired. So if you're like, you look tired, because I am. But I'm still in my clothes from clinical, and I figured that I just, speak from the heart. I have no script. But what's really interesting, and we could attribute it to the algorithm or whatever and recent connections I've made, but my following is growing here, and if you have not subscribed, please double check to make sure that you are subscribed and hit the like button if you want to continue seeing my videos. But what's interesting is I got 2 comments on one of these videos, specifically my back to school series videos, today, like last night and today, but it doesn't matter what day it is when you watch this. But and I think it's because of recent connection that I made. But that's, again, what I'm getting at is people have been really encouraging, and also people are like, please, like, continue sharing, is like the essence of these comments. And I was sharing with somebody the other day about when I decided to come back to school. What I do with anything, for the most part, is I go on YouTube, or I'll just simply put it in Google, and I'll be like, PMHNP school, what is it like? So I did that, and I didn't really see a lot. I did see, like, from one person, but I didn't like, this sounds so bad. I wanted more personality, okay? And that just is a testament to, if you're like, well, there's already so many people creating content and doing it, why should I? I'm here to tell you, you need to, okay? Because your person, like, God made each of us. I didn't know I was going to go on this tangent, but God made each of us unique in his own image, right? And there are people, like, you know what it is? What I realize a lot, actually, anytime I get in that headspace of like, well, so-and-so's already doing this, so like, why am I think of Doechie's the first singer that comes to my mind, but because, like, she's amazing, she's Grammy Award winning, all those things. But I think of artists, rappers, singers, everything that Doechii is, and there are so many other rappers and singers, but nobody does Doechii the way that Doechii does, right? Nobody does Les-leen the way that Les-leen does. And it's not about the number of people that follow you, but the way, like, I love reading comments, right? Like, and I do this weird thing where I always try to find the worst comment first. But anyways, I digress. But what I'm getting at is this: it's important that you share your story because somebody needs to hear it. All right, finally, let's get into what I'm talking about. So I am in clinical rotation 2 of 4 at Walden. So with Walden at this time, it is 2025. At this time, we have to do 4 clinical rotations. So the first one was like a general, like, but I had to sit with a PMHNP. Clinical rotation 2 that I am currently in is the psychotherapy across the lifespan. So that means I had to find an LCSW, which is a licensed clinical social worker, or because they had to be an LCSW or an LM, because there's like a family therapist too, but as long as they're a licensed marriage, as long as they're licensed but they do therapy, that's who I had to find. funny story about me. Well, not really funny story. The way that this schooling is, because it's a 2.5 year program at this time of 2025, because I don't know when you're watching this, and you might be like, oh, I watched this one girl on YouTube say that it was only 2.5 years. And then, whenever you watch this, maybe it's going to be longer or shorter. I don't know. But right now, and I digress, and I forgot what I was going to say. But now that I'm in clinical, that's what I was going to say. So finding the first preceptor was a whirlwind. I almost gave up. And thankfully, I have somebody in my life, I have a friend that prayed over me, and that changed everything. And I found my preceptor, and the rest is history for the first one. And then I'm like getting in the flow, because that's something else. And I think that's a lot of where right now, if I'm gonna be frank with y'all, I am feeling anxious. I am feeling overwhelmed. And now that I'm in psych and P school, I'm learning more about emotions, especially in this therapy rotation. It's actually been a really big blessing, because I'm learning about myself emotionally, right? And that's really important as a mental health provider, that you are self-aware, because you don't want enmeshment. I hope that's the right word I'm trying to use, but you don't want to have blurred boundaries with your patients and those type of things. Like, you have to be very self-aware of, that's a double thing, but you have to be very self-aware. So as I was getting through the first rotation, this was a few months ago. Let me say this. So I started rotation 1, right? This was like the regular, you just sit with a psych NP and see how they do their day to day. Literally, like the first day that I was supposed to do that rotation, I was supposed to already have submitted for this rotation that I'm currently in. So let me say that again. I was doing clinical rotation number 1 a few months ago. Day 1, I was supposed to already have submitted for the therapy one. I wasn't going to do that. I'm just going to be honest. I was already super overwhelmed. Like I said, the last clinical that I did, the first one, those first few weeks was like, it's anxiety, it's overwhelm. I work a full-time job. I have kids. I'm married. I'm a content creator. Like, I'm doing a lot of things. We know this, right? And so it's just like, oh my God, like, how am I going to do this? Blah, 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 with my schedule. I got to talk to my supervisor. I got to la, 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 la. It's forcing me also, one of the biggest lessons personally, being in school, being an entrepreneur, is forcing me to learn how to effectively communicate my needs, right? And so let's continue the story. So I'm in that first semester of clinical, and I'm like, well, God, you gonna come through, because I'm literally, y'all, taking this schooling one day at a time. One day at a time. Okay. And there's so many people that are involved in supporting me so that I get this done. And like, just family members and things like that ask me these questions. And I'm just like, bro, like, one day at a time. One day at a time, because I'm overwhelmed. These past 2 days, I've just felt like tightness here in my throat, crying, because I'm so overwhelmed. And this past weekend, I went with my daughter to this mommy-daughter retreat, and they gave us this emotional wheel that has like, I don't know, like almost 100 emotions. And the main ones, though, are like happy, fear, sad, and then it like expands out into other emotions. And if I'm not mistaken, the overwhelmed feeling, because I was like, okay, let me soothe myself, let me read this wheel, because I was really overwhelmed yesterday. And I looked at overwhelm, I found it on the wheel, and then I went to like the I don't know how to explain it, but like the emotion that people are like, oh, I'm scared, but it's not that you're scared, it's like you're overwhelmed, or you have anxiety. Like, you see what I'm getting at? So I realized, like, oh, the overwhelm I'm feeling is the root is fear. Hey everyone, so this is the feelings wheel that I wanted to share with you. Like I said, I went to this mommy-daughter retreat with my daughter, and they gave us this worksheet that I actually used this week, and I just wanted to provide this resource to you as well. And this is the therapist, her information's at the bottom, so if you want to, scan that QR code and reach out to her for further information, because I am not licensed at this time. This is just merely what I am learning. This is no diagnosis, treatment. This is none of that. I am just sharing this feelings wheel because I feel like it is very insightful. I feel like a lot of times too, right now in this time we're in, we're talking about our children's big feelings, but what about your big feelings? Okay. So I really want you to do with this as you please. I ain't telling you what to do. I ain't your parent, but this really helped me. It really helped me identify where I'm at with my feelings, so then I could cope, feel the feelings and move through that. And it's like a lot of fear of just like, and I feel like if you've been binging this series, like, girl, but if you're one of the people that are supposed to be with me, you're like, no, Les-leen, like, yeah, it's a lot of like, what am I doing? It's a lot of, I don't have, and I have to keep saying this. I don't have mental health hospital experience on paper. There's people in my past that have said things about what I'm doing, and that's still like kind of loud. It's not as loud. And thankfully, God, the God that I serve, is a good God. Every time that sometimes I don't even like, no, I'll have to say it out loud, but He brings people in to confirm that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And it gives me goosebumps. I get the warm and fuzzies as I share that with you, because I'm creating this series to be real. And I'm also creating this series because, like I said in the beginning, I didn't see a lot of people like giving the real about PsychNP school. And there's a creator I actually follow here on YouTube. Oh my God, Made to Medicine, I think is her name, on YouTube. And she is in medical school, which PsychNP school is nothing in compared to medical school. You're in school for like 10 years. Like, let's just be real. It's like 10 years of school, okay? And I really like how she shares her journey. Like, she shares her journey. It's not like, guys, I'm in medical school 12 years later. I'm so thankful. It was hard, but God, I know that that sounds really messed up how I'm saying it, but I'm somebody that's like, what was hard? What was hard? And that's none of my business. It's not. You're right. You're right. People don't got to share all their business online. Please don't share all of your business online. But I feel like if you are a healthcare provider, you are already in the position of thought leader. Like, we don't have to really do much because we're already a healthcare provider. People already trust you typically, right? Nurses are one of the most trusted professions. People will go to a nurse practitioner over a doctor some of the time, okay? So with that being said, I'm already a thought leader, right? So with that, lost my train of thought again, but I just want to just share, and this like, I'm not even editing this video. This is literally a brain dump diary of just the overwhelmed anxiety. What the hell am I doing? I don't know. And I want to look back at this because the video that a couple people commented on, I was like rewatching parts of it and I was like, wow, like this is it's just interesting to see the journey already. And so, okay, talk about this actual clinical. So it's a psychotherapy clinical. So I have to see patients across the lifespan. I have to see from kids to adults. So right now I'm sitting through like people, like group therapies where they're doing anger management. And that has been so insightful. Like, I'm in the class, like, like I'm feverishly taking notes as the therapist is leading the class beautifully. And it shows because personally, I have sat in group therapy and I really liked it. And when you sit through group therapy, you don't realize, like, if you feel comfortable and it is a safe space for you, like how much you actually share in a group therapy setting. And so to now be like on the other side as a student and hearing the people and just it and seeing how the provider is facilitate, like I'm like in awe because I'm like, they facilitate it so beautifully, making sure everybody gets a space to actually talk, and it's just beautiful. And I'm like excited because it's, like I said before, like I don't have the mental health experience, but at the same time, it's like, this is how I'm gaining the experience, right? These clinical rotations is how I gain my experience. Also my personal stuff, like I have been on the side as a patient. I've been on that side, and now I'm like, okay, I'm ready to be on the other side and helping other people. And I feel like that's truly what life is about. And you want to know what's something that's wild that I just thought, like, it's finally coming together, is like, and I know this can be maybe a hot take, but I'm like, well, maybe God put me through what I went through because he needed me to help other people. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, he needed, there was people that needed to be helped. Help me, like, that's probably a weird sentiment to say, because they helped me because I needed help at that moment. And it's not a weird sentiment to say, because it just shows how life is. Like, we all have to help each other. Like, we all cannot be on this earth alone. We all can't just be like in our own head. And so this is a diary. This is a diary. And I'm really excited. This has been 15 minutes. But y'all been watching these, like, because I think the last one that I did, the last check-in, like, these are check-ins. But this clinical rotation's been exciting. I'm a little anxious also because, like, I'm just worried, like, am I going to get my hours in? Am I going to see all the patients I need to see? I have to get 160 hours. I have to see 80 patients. So it's the same as the first one with the amount, like the hours don't change at this time in 2025, and the amount of patient encounters don't change. But it's that worry because it's a new environment, you know? So it's like learning the people that I'm now working with, right? Learning their personalities and all of that. So there, and you know, it's just, there's like the little things, like those are the little things, like getting to know people, them getting to know me, making sure I'm not stepping on toes, and it's just so, but then at the same time, making sure I'm effectively communicating my needs so that I get the things that I need done for school, right? So it's, yeah, I feel like I'm blabbing now, but that is the check-in. We are halfway through the practicum. So after this, I have 2 more to go. Don't ask me what they are. Like I said, we're taking this one day at a time. So I don't know. I already know, though, I'm probably going to have to put myself on wait list. So that was something else. Like I told you all at the beginning of the video, do not do this, though, but I'm just telling you what happened is I'm sitting for my first clinical, and then I'm like doing my schoolwork, and it's like, oh, you got to deadline to submit for therapy rotation is today. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. Give it to God. Then they're like, I call the school and they're like, oh, you can just get on the wait list, but we can't guarantee. Like, they make that very, very clear because they don't want you to wait last minute. They put me on the wait list. My approval, because they have to approve every practicum you do. You have to submit a new form, have the new preceptor sign it, la, la, la. They didn't accept my practicum until literally like the week before. Okay. And I guess I can't say that I'm a type A person because this happened, but I'm something that's very like, once something comes closer, I'm like, what's going on? Right. And I remember calling them, I think it was maybe like 2 weeks before, like, hey, what's going on? Like, I got to plan my life. Like, I got to make sure there's babysitter and da-da-da. And they're like, oh, everything looks good on your end. There's nothing for you to do, but like, you know, we're now waiting for the school to approve it. Like, I'm like, okay, you know, so it's just, and then also you with practicum, like it all falls on you, like in the sense like you have a teacher. So I'm technically taking, like, my practicum is a class, and then I'm taking a didactic, okay? So I'm taking psychotherapy practicum, but I'm also taking a psychotherapy didactic class, which didactic just means like coursework, doing discussion posts, writing papers, those kind of things, right? And so with that being said, I keep losing my train of thought because I am tired, but with that being said, I don't remember. And why was I saying that to y'all? There was a reason. But let me just wrap this video up. If you have any questions, let me know. I am now, like I said, halfway through the practicums, but that also means I'm like 80%, like 70 to 80% done with the entire program. It really did fly by. Like it really did. Like it's wild because I'm, thinking like graduation, after I graduate, like what am I going to do? Where am I going to work? Am I going to have my own private practice? I already have the business foundation not down, but like I'm building my personal brand. I have my own business already. So like it just makes sense for me. But then in the back of my mind, I'm like, but I don't have the mental health hospital experience. Who am I to open up a private practice? That's real thoughts. All right, y'all, this is almost 20 minutes. And how many times did I lose my train of thought? But I think that's a sign that I need to take a shower. And I know this video is serving exactly who it needs to serve. I can't wait to talk to you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.